year, all the things that happen.
Yeah, it's welcome to home ownership. So
Yeah.
Nice place to be, but there's a lot of chores.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're live now, so we might as well get rolling. Now that we've finished the best part, the weather report. Let's see, I guess I'll go first then. So I've reviewed PRs, of course, put in a couple of PRs, and I've started to think about the HIPS pilot that I want to do. I can talk to you guys a little bit about what I want to do for that pilot as part of the parking lot. And that's about it right now.
Good. I put a few things on the agenda, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Thank you.
Okay. How about you, Seuss?
I've been doing SHF administrating things, so not so much for the SHF project.
Well, but that's...
And I never got around to putting that thing in Pivotal Tracker that I was supposed to put, or in the agenda. That's where I was supposed to put that.
Yeah, but I think I can't remember. Maybe I did, or something. That's all right. We'll remember it. Okay, so I actually made some progress. So I investigated the danger gem and put a note about that in the agenda. So whenever I can do a little demo about that. I'd like to kind of wait till Robert's here since he was curious about it. I should bring the PRs up. Francis made progress on his email task, sending an admin an email, and in reviewing that and starting on the next email one, which is sending an email to members when they submit an app. I found anyway, I found a problem since we had been seeding with potentially real addresses. In testing, I started to send emails to those addresses. So that's not what we want to do. We don't want to send emails out to randomly created addresses. So I made a PR for that, making progress on the next mail tasks, sending email out, including some testing stuff. So yeah, you can surprisingly progress a little bit.
Okay, cool. So I've got a couple parking lot items relating to the pilot. So why don't I go first then on that? And let's see. So first off, on the pilot itself, so basically all I've done is read some documentation, conversed a little bit with HIPS guys, and kind of outline what I'm trying to do on the pilot. So the things I'm trying to do are maybe more in the terms of objectives or goals. Learn how to enter items in the SHF store. So we have to enter basically our items on the HIPS side so that when we send it in order, we refer to that, excuse me, that item in the order as a reference in HIPS product catalog for us. So that's pretty trivial to do, obviously. But one of the things I wanted to know from you, Susanna, is do we charge a certain fee and a percentage of that is allocated to VAT? Or how do you guys handle that?
The thing is, the age branding fee is susceptible to that, but not the membership fee.
So we don't charge VAT for a membership fee at all?
No.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons why you guys split it out. I remember one of them.
I think. You have to ask Bella. She knows for sure, but this is what I remember.
So age branding fee I know is tax deductible by the person who's paying it.
Yeah.
But that also means that we charge VAT. But couldn't a membership app, which is not tax deductible, also have VAT charged to it? Or not?
You have to ask Bella.
Okay.
She's the money person.
All right, so we have to confirm that with her. So we can check with her. I guess we're going to meet with her Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
coming up?
You could just send her an email ahead of time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I was trying to make a note in the wiki, but I don't have enough working neurons to do that and listen.
No, sorry to interrupt. I just remembered that I think being a non-profit organization, we are not allowed to charge VAT, but the age branding fee can be booked as a company expense, while the membership fee cannot. That's the difference.
So it's the tax deductible stuff.
Okay.
So I think no VAT at all.
No VAT at all across the board. Okay, so we'll just make sure we confirm that with Bella as well.
Yes.
And that makes it, well, it doesn't really matter. It's automatic with the HIPS guys, but I want our on-site store on HIPS to reflect what is reality. And also, what's the actual krona amounts for these? Do you know? Well, of course you know.
I should know, but we're still using the old system without the age branding fee. So I must admit I don't remember.
So there's one fee that comprises both right now. We're not sure which is which.
No, the old fee is 450 and the new fee is 520, but I don't remember which is which.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that can wait also until Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, because for testing we can just put any amount.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few krona in there for each. Okay, no problem. So that's one of the items. The objective of the pilot is to achieve member. We're going to test how the member can pay member fee, and basically, on our side, I'll just have a link that's clicked, and that'll basically create an order to HIPS. HIPS will come back with an order ID, and then we can use the order ID to integrate their so-called checkout API with our site. Put it in a. So I want to make sure that all works, and with a limited intent to style the page a little bit. I won't do a lot of styling, but embed this frame. This what's the term I use for? What's the
iframe?
Yeah, the iframe. Thank you. Embed that on a page and maybe do a little styling around it and see if you can also style that embedded iframe to some degree, but not a lot. So play around with that a little bit. So I won't do a lot of that because that could be an endless black hole, but just experiment a bit. Obviously, we want to check how we can do credit card, invoice, and Swish payments on the HIPS side. So hopefully the pilot can accommodate that. None of these hit the banking network, of course, while we're in sandbox mode. So hopefully we can fully test it, even though it's not actually talking to the bank network. And then test how we basically handle payment completion. So we got to retrieve an order. We got to determine whether we succeeded or failed somehow on the HIPS side, and maybe why. See what information we could display to the user if that's the case. We need to store transaction data to some degree. So I'll expand some model, maybe the user model with some fields. This is not going to be a design of a model. I think we ought to be very careful with that, but it'll just some place we can stick some transaction data for now. And I already said this, how do we determine a failed transaction? So that's important to know. And we obviously want to know, do we need a billing address on our side, or do we need one on HIPS side only, or do we need one on both? Maybe we capture it on our side and we tell HIPS, here's the bill address for this user, use this, whatever. I suspect it's going to be, I mean, I'm thinking maybe we only need it on the HIPS side, which means we never see a bill address on our side. I don't know. And that's basically it. And then maybe a real quick throw together an administrative view where you can, on our side, retrieve all the orders, display them, whatever. Do we need that? It could be that we're just duplicating in a primitive way much better technology on the HIPS dashboard, in which case we may not need it, but just to play around with that a little bit. So that's it for the pilot, just to see if I can achieve this stuff to get us going.
That'll be great.
Yeah, so thank you. So that's kind of the layout. I didn't want to be too aggressive with the pilot. Don't want to make this an epic pilot, The other thing in the sandbox is having to do with the HTTP client that we use to talk via the API. So what I've done in the past, I've used something called REST client, and I noticed that in their example code, they were using HTTP party, which is another one. And there's Faraday, there's a bunch of these things out there, but I think the big ones right now are REST client, HTTP party to some degree, and Faraday. Faraday is a more primitive, low-level stuff, gives you much more control, but a lot more work on your side. We don't need that power. So I did ask them, should we use HTTP party? Does it matter? I think he just came back and basically said, we like HTTP party, we use it, and also think the subtext is really it doesn't matter, but they like it. So
probably make it easy just in any
HTTP
questions.
Well, that was the thought. So if we have any questions, I don't think
Is that HTTP party is a great gem? That is what we prefer in Rails.
That's what they prefer in Rails.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that we need to do that. So actually,
he doesn't actually say if it's necessary or not.
Yeah, and it's not, I'm sure. It's just that, to Ashley's point, if we got stuck and we thought, well, maybe the way we're executing the API is our problem, not the HIP side, they may be able to help us out with that. So I've got reservations on that. For the pilot, I want to use REST client. The reason is that I've used it before. So the other thing is, Ashley, if you have time, it would be good if you could look at both. So here's REST client, and it is incredibly functional. It's very, very easy to use.
Yeah.
It's basically got everything you'd want to do in this, which is also very easy to use if you don't delve into some of the immense power behind it.
Right.
However, HTTP party is, well, here's the site here. It says, well, this is how you can get rolling really quickly. This is pretty much it. And then they have docs. The docs really just send you to this. And there's only two things, parsing JSON, which is right here, and working with SSL. And then, of course, you can go to the RDocs for it, and if you want to mess around with that. So these are automatically created documentation, right, from the code. So my opinion is that, you know, they're both maintained. I think the last time REST client had an update was 22 days ago. This one was HTTP party a month ago. So they're both reasonably maintained, from what I can tell.
I know they're both in heavy use because, yeah, they've been around. But yeah, I hear
they're both in heavy use. Yeah, if you go look at some of the comparison sites that look into stats on usage, etc., they're both contenders, no doubt about it. I just think that REST client has, again, I don't want to go through all of the detail here, but actually, if you could give a once-over of both, I'd appreciate that, and give me your sense of it.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not wedded to either one. REST client is just immensely powerful, and it's easy to use. It's easy to test. It's easy. I've used it with WebMock. It mocks beautifully. So anyway, that's my spiel on that. In the meantime, I'll just launch in using REST client. We can switch later if we decide we want to do that.
Sounds good.
Yep. All right, that's it for my parking lot item. Anybody else have one?
I do. Hold on, just let me.
You want to share screen or?
Hold on, I gotta make this note about it.
Okay. So far, now that we got the Telegram set up, John's been pretty responsive, so I'm pleased with that.
Great. Yeah, I haven't even looked at it. Sounds like both of you have, so that's good.
Yeah, they've been good.
Okay, let me look at the things I wrote in there. Oh, so I was just looking through some of the PT tasks. I made a comment in the agenda. I guess the other things I have are about my PRs.
Should we go ahead and start reviewing PRs then?
Yeah, it makes sense for me. How about you, Susanna? Oh, she's muted.
I'm here. I'm just.
You were nodding your head, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Which one do you want to look at first, Ashley?
So let's do what I think is the easy one, the Ruby. So if we could just get that in there.
Yep. think I approved it. It looked good.
Yeah, so I just was waiting for one more approval. So just as a reminder, that means everybody needs to make sure they have Ruby, that version of Ruby installed. So
Yeah, this problem here, I've struggled with this too.
yeah.
You have to test it and switch it back until the team's ready to move forward. Yeah, it's.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I'd like to go ahead.
Did you find a per bill setting?
I didn't look too hard.
Okay, I don't think it's there because I've looked before too, but.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Otherwise, I think they would have announced it as a change, something.
That would be a cool feature to have.
Yeah. So if it's all right with both of you, then I'll just update that after a meeting and change semaphore to 242.
And just post on Slack that we all need to go to 242.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would be great. And then I can go ahead and get that in.
It's fine with me.
And then we can, like I said, deploying should be no problem because I already have it set up on the production server. So once it's pushed, it should just.
Yeah. And there were no code changes either.
Correct, which is what we hoped and expected. So.
Any deprecation warnings go away? Probably not with a minor release like that.
I don't think so, since this one was focused on them.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and then let's see what else. The seeding of disposable fake emails at 378.
Mm-hmm.
So saying that's a really minor change. So I'm just waiting for another review. So as soon as that's in, then we won't, nobody like me will accidentally start sending emails to random people around the planet. So the emails generated will be totally fake that we can send to those fake email servers.
For those disposable mail servers, right? That people
and I, clearly I set that up at the beginning and I didn't realize the difference between the two methods or didn't know about it. So now I do. So it's just a few changes. So those two I would like to get in sooner rather than later.
Okay. Definitely. So along those lines too, I'd like to get both of these in fairly soon because this here, I think I marked it as a feature, not a chore. This is something that we discussed, and Susanna and Bella both agreed that they'd like to put that in place for this sprint, in fact. So there's that. If I could get another, I think it's good to go, but I guess I need another review. And then this one here.
Yeah, that looks good.
That doesn't break anything, but the fact is if people change their mail address, we're geolocating like crazy, needlessly. Yeah, so that was a problem I created, so we needed to fix it. So again, if we can get a second review on that, that would be good too. In fact, yeah. But anyway, we've got it all in Heroku, so we can do it after the meeting with Bella, Susanna. Oops, I think we see some approvals coming in already. What did we approve? Let's see.
She is on it.
You've got two approvals on this. Do you want to go ahead and, you want me to do it?
Sure.
This is the email one?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we got that. The other one, do you want to hold off and do that yourself so that you can adjust semaphore? Right? Okay.
Yeah, I'll wait. So if, and in fact, we could, go ahead and do the other, get your other one in.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we've got two approvals on that one. I'm out of date because I just went out of date because we just pushed that. Isn't that frustrating?
But you can probably update it right there in GitHub without.
Probably could, yeah.
Worrying about it.
Sätt han i köket. Nej.
Yep.
So, it sounds like she's got some dog stuff or something going on. So the email,
so that's, I updated it and now it's running 7.4.
perfect.
Email one?
The email stuff, looking at, so I mentioned I did go ahead and put in the WebMock and VCR gems.
As part of what?
So I was looking at the code and decided I needed to test for what happens if we try to connect with the Mailgun server, service, and we can't. So I was looking at writing a test for a new member submits an application and we send them an acknowledgement email. And so
apparently my computer fell asleep.
Oh, poor thing, so tired. That's okay. My brain is working slowly, so you didn't lose much. So I was looking at the sad paths in writing the feature tests. What could go wrong and how do we need to handle it? So the obvious thing is we don't send an email if they try to submit their application and it fails, like they don't fill out all the fields on the form. That's easy. But the other thing that could happen was what I just said, that, okay, they submit their application just fine. And then when we try to send an email via Mailgun, sending that message to their HTTP address, what do we do if we get a failure there? So I wanted to catch that situation. And right now I'm just going to log it to the log file. And so that's where I found it really helpful to put in the WebMock and VCR so that I could just mock up a bad response coming back from HTTP and write the test using that.
Yeah, that makes sense. So one of the things to think about also, if we do use a gem to delay the delivery of the email, or not even to delay it, to just do it asynchronously, even in real time, delay 0 seconds, do an async process?
We're not. We certainly could use Action Cable to do that, actually, or Active Job, or I guess Active Job. Yeah,
so what I'm thinking about in terms of how you can think about it now is that if we do that, and if our intent is to do that in the future, but it might make sense, we can return as to that gem basically a boolean saying whether we succeeded or not. And if we didn't succeed, it retries again at the next cycle, which might be every 5 seconds or something like that. Right. And then, soon, I think it'll be great to put in the exception notification gem. And I don't know if either of you know about that. It's really handy. So what it does is it catches exceptions that are thrown by your application, and you can set it to catch different levels, listen to different things. And then then you can put in different notifiers, like send an email, send a message to Slack, whatever. It's got a whole bunch of different adapters. So I think we're getting to a point where it'll be important to see that. Yeah. So my point, though, was that
yes,
if we failed to deliver via a Mailgun connection problem,
right,
I don't think we should spend a lot of time on our core project code determining how to retry, when to retry, etc. We just bolt on one of these async delay job, whatever, Sidekick, and it delivers when it can and retries automatically. So that's one of the side benefits of using, aside from also you're doing it in an async process outside of the mainstream, and the user's not waiting.
Yes.
Yep. So on VCR, my take. So what we did on the Met Plus project, which we did a lot of stubbing on that. We used WebMock exclusively. We didn't use VCR. I did see a whole lot of downside to not using VCR, and I've heard that there is some downside because you've got to maintain it. If something changes, you've got to recapture all of that for replay later. And just managing all those VCR files, etc., can be a bit of a pain.
Yeah, in my test, I just wanted some kind of fail to come back, so it almost doesn't, you know, it. So this is this particular instance won't go stale, but right.
Yeah, I see. So.
Yeah, it does. It does make some tight coupling and some brittleness in some ways.
Yeah, it just adds another layer. It's immensely valuable if we need it. So I'm not saying let's not do it. It's just to think about. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, I'm putting a chore in PT now about using an async process for emails.
Okay, cool. Let's see. While we were talking, did I complete anything here? I'm still working on semaphore. Okay. All right. Anything else before we look at PT right now?
I don't know. Like I said, I can't quite multitask right at the moment. So
okay.
I guess not. Susanna, if during your work with doing regular admin stuff for SHF, and regulars in air quotes, but you can't see it. I don't know if you have been using the app if you found any other places where you had to manually do something because the application wasn't taking care of it. So just curious if you ran into any of those situations.
No. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Good. Okay.
So in terms of, let's see, in terms of the PT stuff, just quickly going through this. So that's Robert, that's Francis, he's working on that. So some feedback, Capistrano stuff.
So this one, I think, yeah, if you can look at that one, admin. So this was to make sure that we thought about what happens to the UI or what happens with user interaction. I mean, when an admin approves a member application, and there were some things in the UI that need to be cleaned up. So I think this is kind of addressed with what Robert did. We answered that we don't need to enter anything about the membership number. And I think he's going to pretty up or there's a task for making the UI better by pulling out the status stuff already in Pivotal Tracker in the Icebox. So I think this one can be closed. It was, thinking about how should stuff work. And I think we have answered that.
I'm not close enough to that process to have an opinion. It sounds right. I mean, if we've approved it, we've approved it. What else do we need to do? You've discovered you don't necessarily need to tidy up anything. So
yeah, some is tidied up and the rest is a bigger task, and that's entered in Pivotal Tracker. We'll address it.
Yeah, I think when we remove the metadata editing out of the membership application form itself, that's to your point. I'm okay with it. Susanna, we good on this? We can finish it?
Probably. I trust you.
Okay. Oh.
All right.
Good.
Okay.
All right. What else can we hit buttons on? That bug one.
Yeah.
So my question to you, Susanna, and I think put it down in the activity or comments, is what else do we need to do with this right now? So this is where you found data in the production system, and we think we know why the data was screwed up.
Yes.
So do we need to do something more to clean up that data?
No.
Okay.
But we need to think about it, I guess.
So So we still need to investigate to make sure we are confident about why it happened?
It probably was because they changed, or some of it was because they changed their number.
So maybe what we need is a way to detect that.
Yes, like they say, are you sure you want to change your company number? Should we change the one in your application? But then that's not allowed. I mean, we do a check of this company so that it's a real company. The number they edit isn't checked, is it?
Well, I was actually thinking on a slightly different level, is that we, like once a week or something, we run a task or method or function.
Well, it's easier to make the number uneditable, like the field visible but disabled.
Yes, and so we have a task in Pivotal Tracker for that, I know.
Okay, but then
the other thing is, I wonder if we don't need to be checking for that situation, because what if it's happening because of some other thing that we haven't figured out yet? So we need to be. So I wonder if we just have a task run once a week that looks for.
Okay. Yeah.
This kind of stuff. Okay, so I'll put that in Pivotal Tracker, and then we can close this one.
What is the use case where a company, an org number would change for an existing company?
They change. No.
So it's
that is weird. But it would be if they applied for one company, but then don't work there anymore, or yeah, that would be the reason. They work at a different company.
Well, that would be a membership application org number change, right? Not a company org number change.
No, they once approved, they can't change their membership application, so they changed their whole company, which isn't allowed really, but nothing we can do. But at least
dangerous. I mean,
we can prevent them from changing their company number.
Yeah. If they change the whole company, well, we lose history of what's going on with that company, et cetera. Now that we're getting into payment, history is going to be really important. And being able to walk records and execute non-repudiation investigation of historical payment records, really critical.
Right. Yeah.
That strikes me as really, really dangerous to allow that.
Yeah, so I know we have a task in there not to, but I think it's becoming more and more critical that we make sure we're looking for bad data, so that whether it's this particular situation or something else, we start to make sure we're auditing and catching any of those.
Okay, so that, I guess we can close it then, huh?
I think so.
Okay. Delivered, accepted. Okay. All right. Let's see. I guess we can keep this around a little bit longer. Refactoring business.
Yeah.
I think we're going to stumble over them as they occur now. That's still ongoing. Membership number. I think Robert's got. Did we?
There's a number 374.
Did we? Where's that? 374 is not here. I think we did.
We did, yeah.
374 is merged. Okay, good. All right, so we're finished with that one. Let's see, still ongoing here. This one. Do you want to go ahead and have me finish this, Ashley, or do you want to do it once you?
Sure.
Okay.
Can.
Clean it up? Why not? Okay, great. Prevent company email from being deleted.
Your mail.
Yeah, so that was
So you're gonna demo that, or are you gonna demo that to Susanna? Well,
well,
I
I
guess
think we can just demo it on Tuesday to both Susanna and Bella. Just because Bella was involved with that conversation as well.
perfect.
I think other than that, we we don't have anything actual to demo, so that's good to have something. And also this one, I think we've all approved it, so we're good on that. I'll make sure that it's merged.
Put the PR number. Maybe you can put the PR number in there.
Oh yeah. So what was that PR? Let's see. That's 377, right?
No, 3. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Put color. So that will let's queue up for.
That's another one where the PR number can go in.
I think. Yeah. I get.
Both of those.
Yeah. So
that's okay. We can go back to do those.
Yeah, I can come back.
I got to do.
Yep. Yeah. But I should remember to do that. So.
Yeah, I need to do it too.
So we can finish this one, right, Ashley?
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to show this to the client, right?
No, it's just seeding development anyway.
Okay, so we're good there.
Yay! Look at our velocity go.
Popping up. Well, it's still 1 though, unfortunately.
Well,
don't get me started. Don't get me started.
No. Not today.
Not today. We don't have patience with that. Send email application. So what's this? This one?
So I just started that.
Okay.
And that's where I'm going to do a PR so that we have this little bit of error handling when things don't work with Mailgun.
I see. Yep.
And then the next, sending emails out one.
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
Good. Is there any voting we can do? I guess voting and making sure our priorities, things are in the right priority order.
Yes, the thing I was supposed to write on the agenda is that we got some real member feedback from the newsletter.
Right.
One person wrote and asked when the Din Kush integration will be finished, and 3 people commented and said that they are also interested in this function.
Wow, that's great. I'll make a note in the client, maybe I already did in the client meeting.
And another person changed her address because she has 3 locations. I put the link up in the...
Yeah, right.
And she wrote about this in our closed Facebook group, and 13 people liked her post. So at least 13 people have seen that they can change to more than 1 address.
Fantastic.
Cool. Yeah. So in terms of voting, it's too early to vote on pay membership because we haven't spiked that yet and figured out what we want to do there. We do have this email applicant approved membership email applicant approved membership info.
Yes, welcome. You know who wrote that?
Okay, so isn't that one you're working on right now?
No, it's received.
Oh, received
Yeah,
versus approved. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we decided that these are all going to have the same number of points as the first one we voted on, right?
Yeah.
So should I just put 2 of those in there?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay.
It's not. It's a little. Yeah, our discussion was right. It's a little more than 1. It's definitely not a 3.
Mm-hmm.
And once Francis and I, each get ours done, then it will be a lot of copying and pasting just to make it happen. So
follow the pattern,
which is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's one to go on right now.
No, there are other ones that are in the ice box that I think aren't showing up in your.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
So if you want to click on the label, that Epic send email, whatever that purple label for them, then they'll all pop up in an Epic. That's so.
Here's the Epic send email from SHF Epic. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
All right.
I'm trying to keep them all.
Okay. That one's not approved. Send email when. So do you want to
So
go ahead?
looking at this,
Mm-hmm.
can I drag stuff from Icebox to the sprint planning dates? Or I see some things. Some things are like planned for the 9th of January.
So that is Pivotal Tracker just grabbing things in order from the Icebox and trying to do that automatically.
But okay, understand. But it's weird that it skips some periods and puts it in other periods.
Yes,
No, it's every other actually.
well,
No, it's not.
not.
It's almost every other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
weird.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know how exactly it decides. Well, the features it does, because you only got one, so you can only one voted feature per iteration. So there's two that already exceed my 1 point. So the next one has to go into the following one.
Uh-huh.
If we had points assigned to bugs and chores, it would make a lot more sense to us. I'd have 15 points I can do, and I'd see 15 points here.
I understand.
Yeah, so that's, again, the way we're using this is not really great for what it is intended to do for us.
Right, and so obviously it's just grabbing things in whatever order they're in the Icebox for bugs and chores. So keeping those.
And you would think it would move bugs all the way. I physically moved these here from further iterations in the future. So because we're in manual planning, it's not really doing a heck of a lot for us other than confusing us, I think.
I think we need an agenda item, so we make sure we vent about this every week.
Well, I think at one point, let's come together as a team and decide we're going to live with this or we're going to add points to the other guys. So,
yeah, that would be good. Like, yeah. Well, maybe we could, I don't know, if next Thursday we could try and spend a few minutes on that. Just so we can make progress on doing that, because it sounds like, we all, the pressure is there to do something.
I think we're all realizing this is pretty cool, what it's doing for us so far. I like it. I'd like to go all the way, Yeah. Rather than this halfway thing, which really doesn't match the way we're working.
Okay, good. So other things we could vote on or move around priorities.
I think for me, or for the system, anything regarding membership applications, like having two for the same person, or bits and pieces of the design, things like that, is low priority. High priority is payments and then integrating the Kush stuff.
Okay.
Kush.
So it sounds like we have enough good functionality with membership application now to work with for a while.
I think so.
Good.
For me, at least.
Yeah. Well, so that will be good, and I'll make a note in the client meeting agenda. We can double check that with Bella and see what she thinks about, if she can think of anything with the membership application that occurs to her. And since she's not a big user of it, I doubt she will, but just want to make sure she has the opportunity for that.
Yeah.
Well, we have two constituencies now. Bella's a big, strong advocate, as are you, Susanna, for payment processing. And now we have this integration that's also got another constituency. So that's clear. We have two things that people really want.
Yay.
And what is that integration thing again? Can you explain to
It's like a
It's like the system
Right.
you wanted to include in this system, in an event manager thing.
He was thinking of events different in the technical.
Yeah, I was exactly.
It's like Eventbrite.
Okay.
It's a system that tracks, events and meetings and stuff. And so
all the users tend to use this site.
No, but they do have a big discount for us.
Aha.
And it's really ugly. So if we want to make money, we come up with a pretty system that does the same thing.
There I am for that.
Actually.
So do all the members use one SHF account when they go to that site?
No. It's individual accounts, but they get a discount for being a member.
So if my company wants to have a seminar next Saturday on dog training of some type, I put it into this site.
If you have that site.
If I am a member of that site and I pay the fee. And then I also want that event to show up on our webpage?
Yes, many people would like that as a function. And of course, to have them be searchable. Like if I search for nosework, I can find all the nosework in Sweden or in my area or whatever I search for. But that comes later.
Why is there a big wish for that? Why can't they just go to the site and do search? They just want to have one place to go to see everything?
Yes. There is actually a site called Hundkartan, Dog Map, that tried to do this, but it's not quite there, and it's also ugly. So.
Well, we'll do it better than them then. So what you're saying, you could also display these events on a map, which would be really cool.
So you could, for example, on the landing page, we could have two buttons, one for find event and one for find company.
Mm-hmm.
And then have these different searches and displays depending.
Yeah. That would be
So I'm making a new page as we speak in our wiki so that we can start to capture these stories and background for all this. And to me, that's so I'll put a task in the tracker. That's where we are. We're going to need to start capturing all these thoughts. And so, Dana, all the thoughts that you have, and I bet you have a lot, if you can start writing them down in any way you want, will be fantastic.
I think also that this, for the members who will use it, it will be a good value for being a member. And also, my idea is that if you use Dinkurs, you should only need to enter the code that they have for that event. But if you don't use Dinkurs, you can enter your events manually in the system. Well, that is my vision, at least.
If I use Dinkurs, I know I'm mangling that, and I create events in the future, I don't want to tell you for 3 events that I created. I don't want to tell the SHF website the 3 events. I just want to have it use my account number or some kind of code that I give it, so it can go and grab all 3 without knowing.
I don't think that's possible, but maybe.
We can check that out.
I have the XML linked somewhere, so you can see what we get.
So
the tracker. I think we've got that task.
Yes, search for Din. I'm sure you will find it.
Yeah, I'm learning in Swedish that whenever you see a K, it can be any one of like a half a dozen different phonetic sounds.
Yes, that is correct.
Of course, why not?
But there are rules about it, actually.
Yeah, which I always
it has to do with the vowels.
That follow.
We have hard and soft vowels.
Yeah.
But it's not the vowels that are hard or soft, it's the letter before them.
Right. Well, right.
So there's your daily Swedish lesson.
There you go. Great.
My head's already exploded from the earlier one. Yeah, so we want some kind of event visibility thing, which would include this integration. And if it's not there, to your point, Susanna, you can enter it manually. And so if I own a company and I have events going on, I'm not going to send interested people to this external site. I'm going to send it to our site so they can see everything.
Right.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds really sticky. It makes us much more sticky and attractive to members.
That pretty much sums me up. I'm sticky, and that's what makes me attractive.
We're speaking metaphorically, I hope, but anyway.
Oh, no, it comes from eating too many donuts and pie, coconut, sticky rice.
Yeah.
That's my current comfort food, Susanna, since...
You're funny.
Yeah, but it's true.
I was eating a sandwich and I almost didn't.
Spit it out. Just spit it. Well, my work here is done.
You've achieved your objective for this meeting.
That's right. Okay, I'm trying to type in.
If anybody watches this, they will have a laugh.
Yeah,
That's why we hide the URLs for that very reason.
that's right.
We want to be taken seriously, even though we're not. So
We're professional.
we're
But
professional.
we got a new person in our channel.
I saw that.
Well, till he attends the first meeting, and that'll be it for him, right?
And along those lines, so Ashwin, I chatted with him in Slack.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just really starting out with Rails and Ruby and stuff. So, but he is really interested in helping out. So I think that will be great. And I can imagine that he'll be able to contribute if somebody pairs up with him.
Yep.
He seems very hungry for learning as well.
Yeah, exactly. And so
The danger is he just feels like he's drinking from a fire hose, and he gets tired of his brain being tired all the time.
right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it seemed good.
Yeah, good. Well, we'll definitely reach out and help him as long as he's willing to put in the time and effort. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Okay, so I'm trying to type this note up too. If someone does not have a DINCURS account, they should be able to schedule an event with the SHF system.
Yeah, thanks for taking those notes. Is that in the team meetings?
No, well, this DINCURS stuff, I just made a new wiki page. I haven't linked it in or anything. I just hit create page.
Yeah, we'll need a page, won't we? It'll grow.
Yeah, so this is a big, I think, will be a big portion of the system because it's tracking events. You know, here's a new event. Here's a description of it. Here's a map for it. Maybe we get it from DINCURS. Maybe, you know, so we need to start tracking what are all those user stories and all that stuff associated with it.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, what else?
Does DINCURS have the ability to sell tickets if it's a paid event?
Yes, that is the reason they exist.
So it is very much like Eventbrite then.
So they also send invoices and things like that, and I think they even have Swish nowadays. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So they take care of the administrative parts of having classes.
Got it.
But like I said, it's pretty ugly, or it used to be. Maybe they have changed it. So it's pretty boring design and not very user-friendly layout for the administrator. But I mean, it works, and they are friendly people, very friendly people,
Mm-hmm.
and we got a good discount, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Now we're getting them external services. Pretty soon we'll break up our monolithic architecture.
And to make some advertising for them after I've dissed them, always offer the first one free, so you can set up a whole event and have people and send invoices and everything completely free. And if you don't like it, you don't have to do anything else.
Cool.
Yeah, that seems like a really good business model.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess we're good then, huh?
Any other voting or priorities? We've got plenty of priorities.
I think we got enough to work on now, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're good. I'm going to make sure that my stories get merged, the ones we approved.
Yeah, and we'll update the stuff. So we'll meet on Monday before we do the client meeting.
Yeah, that works out better, doesn't it? Tuesday client meeting, so we can prepare Monday.
Yeah, makes
more
Monday
sense.
less onerous.
Okay, I'm squashing and merging the stories.
Oh, actually, the 18th is a Wednesday.
Well, that's right. She needed to move it, didn't she? Do I have? Okay.
Okay.
The 18th, Caro will come here. The second chairman of the board will come here to help me with my spaniels.
Ah.
In exchange for an online class platform.
Ah, perfect. That sounds great. That sounds like a great exchange of services.
Yeah, good barter economy thing.
Right.
Okay, well, I think we're good then, huh? Anything else?
Nope. Nope.
All right, well, I guess we'll talk again Monday.
Okay, time to go get sticky.
And much more attractive, too, to boot.
Hey, whatever I can do, every little bit helps.
You suffer for beauty. It's amazing. It's just incredible what you go through. But anyway.
Well, it's clear you have suffered long and hard, Patrick.
I can take that in a number of ways, actually. But anyway, sorry.
Exactly. Okay. I am actually thinking about my Thai sticky rice in the fridge now. So, all right,
Okay.
I'll add this Dinkurs page into our wiki, so we can start dumping information there. And I'll look forward to lots of lo-fis and random thoughts